During the difficult economic period of the 1930s, the radio and film industries thrived and enjoyed a prosperous era. Approximately two-thirds of Americans regularly attended movies on a weekly basis, which greatly contributed to the flourishing of the film industry. Hollywood created a diverse selection of movies, such as comedies, musicals, love stories, and gangster films. Numerous movies provided a means of escaping the hardships of the Great Depression. One of the most well-known and cherished movies of all time is Gone with the Wind. The captivating duo of Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers mesmerized audiences with their exceptional dancing collaboration in numerous films. Some other well-liked movies were The Wizard of Oz and Disney's animated masterpiece Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. During the Depression, many people went to theaters to watch Marx Brothers comedies and gangster films. These movies depicted characters facing difficult situations and trying to succeed, which resonated with the audience. Certain films, such as Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, 1936, by Frank Capra, depicted the achievements of the New Deal in a positive light. Capra's movies frequently showcased virtuous and compassionate characters who emerged victorious over selfish individuals. Radio also thrived during this period, mirroring the democratic essence of the era. Approximately 90% of American households possessed radios, which made it the most effective method of communicating with the American population. Families dedicated multiple hours every day to listening to dramas and variety programs. Soap operas were named after the soap companies that sponsored them. They were designed for homemakers and aired in the late mornings or early afternoons. Television shows for kids like The Lone Ranger were broadcasted in the late afternoon. Orson Welles' adaptation of H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds in 1938 is widely recognized as one of the most famous radio broadcasts ever. It caused panic among listeners who genuinely believed that Martians were invading Earth. This event showed how important radio is, especially as a main source of news for many Americans. Radio played a crucial part in boosting the popularity of entertainers such as Bob Hope, Jack Benny, George Burns, and Gracie Allen, even before they became successful on television. President Roosevelt understood the influence of radio and employed it to engage with the American public in his well-known fireside chats. During a challenging time in American history, radio and film offered valuable entertainment and solace. During the Great Depression, the art, music, and literature had a more serious and contemplative tone in contrast to the entertainment provided by radio and movies. However, numerous works conveyed a positive message and highlighted the resilience and democratic ideals of Americans. New Deal officials understood the significance of the arts, and therefore introduced different programs to provide support for artists and writers. The Federal Arts Project, which was part of the WPA, hired artists to make posters, murals, and other artworks for public places. These artworks aimed to show positive images of American society. Famous artists like Edward Hopper, Jackson Pollock, and Grant Wood played a part in this endeavor, and Wood's American Gothic became a symbol of life during the Depression. The Federal Theater Project also helped American playwrights and actors, encouraging a lively theater community. Woody Guthrie, a folk singer, used music to express the difficulties of the Depression era. He shared his personal experiences through songs such as This Land Is Your Land, which has become a timeless classic in American folk music. The Federal Writers Project provided funding to writers such as Richard Wright. He wrote a novel called Native Son, which portrays the difficulties experienced by a young African-American man as a result of racism. Zora Neale Hurston wrote Their Eyes Were Watching God, a captivating tale about an African-American woman's upbringing in rural Florida. John Steinbeck, one of the well-known writers of that time, received support from the Federal Writers Project, FWP, for his book, The Grapes of Wrath. This novel depicted the challenges faced by Oklahoma farmers who were forced to leave their homes due to the Dust Bowl and became migrant workers in California. During the 1930s, writers from various backgrounds shared stories about different groups experiencing difficulties. These groups included Irish working-class communities in Chicago, impoverished coalfields in Missouri, and sharecroppers in Alabama. The play Our Town by Thornton Wilder depicted the pleasant and attractive aspects of life in a small town during a difficult time. These creators used their art to give important insights into the experiences of Americans during the Great Depression. They shared messages of strength and optimism,